What's up, guys? It's your boy J Bob's here on the call today for Man versus Men Week 1 of this 2023 season. Um, so here's how this will work. It'll be similar to the simulation style tournament we had last week of who does man think will win the Super Bowl this year. If you guys didn't see that, I highly recommend going back and watching it, especially that last game. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to commentate those simulations. So we'll go ahead and kind of do it the same way we did that. But this is going to be more of just jumping in the last minutes of the game, if I jump in at all. So, there won't be too much of that because otherwise my stream will be forever. And I don't have forever. And neither do you guys. So I will try to keep it nice and short and kind of keep those simulations in check a little bit because I did get a little crazy with them the first time last week. So, anyways, how this will work here. So here's how this will work. I'll make my picks on the games for each game. I'll make a pick, and then Madden will simulate. And I also, for you guys in League of Ordinary Gentlemen, I release polls for you guys to vote in for each and every game this coming week. I would say the polls are now closed. I mean, I might be a little bit lenient with the games that are not this one right here. This one's definitely closed by now. League of Ordinary Gentlemen overwhelmingly favored the Chiefs. So go ahead and enter that into my spreadsheet right now. Yes, I'm keeping track of this stuff, so at the end of the year, I'll compare myself, Madden, and League of Ordinary Gentlemen in the context of who has the best record. And we'll do postseason as well for Man versus Men. So we're not gonna just stop at a regular season. It wouldn't make sense to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to make my pick for this game with a little bit of explanation sometimes. For this game, really not much to say about it. It's Kansas City. I mean, they did get a little worse. Detroit got a little better. We had I think this was a simulation actually during the Madden Sim tournament, and the Chiefs won resoundingly. So I think I know what Madden's going to pick. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, of course. Whoever picks the Lions, if they win, you make some good money if you make the bet. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this first simulation. So we'll go ahead. We're going to sim all the way to the fourth quarter at the very least. Actually, let's just go to the end of the game. I could cancel if I want. Let's see what's going on. So the Lions have a lead here, and then the Chiefs strike back. And they're up 7. The Lions within 4, and the Lions have the lead. So here we go. Oh, well, the Chiefs have a 2-score lead now. All right, well, we think we know who won this game. The Kansas City Chiefs are victorious, according to Madden. So there it is. And I'll actually just keep track of wins. There's no need to really keep track of losses. If there happens to be a tie, I will count it as it'll be a 0 all the way around, so it's fair. I'm just going to add up the wins. It'll make it easier now that I think about it, rather than actually keeping track of total records. Because if you can derive the amount of wins, and you know how many ties there have been during the season, then you can derive the amount of losses if you really want to do the math. So anyways, on to our next matchup. It's already right here in front of us. The Browns are my favorite team, of course. So let's see what League of Ordinary Gentlemen said. Of course, people are going to pick the Bengals. Boo. I mean, they are probably the best team in the AFC North. So let's go ahead. It's the 8-minute quarters. randomize the weather because you never know what it could be like on the lakefront. Um, so, I mean, here's the thing. My heart wants to pick the Browns. My head says to pick the Bengals. But my head also says the Bengals haven't won a single game in Cleveland since 2017, the year the Browns went 0-16. So, you know what? I can bite the bullet on this one. I could make my pick for this week to be the Browns. I mean, because the Bengals, they're good. They're hella good, and they're no doubt my pick to make it out of the AFC. But a trend with the Bengals, there's a couple of trends here. First of all, they're playing in Cleveland, somewhere they haven't won in 6 years. Second of all, if you guys haven't noticed, like even in these last 2 years, the Bengals never gotten off to a fast start. And this is week 1. So you never really know what can happen. I mean, of course, the Browns for the longest of time didn't win a week 1 game. And then last year, we squeaked out a win against the Carolina Panthers on the road. But I think here, yes, I'm being bold, picking my favorite team against a heavyweight Cincinnati Bengals team to win week 1. This was also a Madden simulation from last week, and it had the Bengals winning by 2 scores, I believe. So we'll go ahead and simulate through this one. So I'm just going to keep picking end of game, and then, so it's making it a lot easier than having to click the button 3 times. It's kind of like the last time. They're trading blows until there. It's getting a little close here. So here we go. 1:04 left. Browns are in the red zone. Down by 7. 3rd and 5 for Deshaun Watson and company here. You can see come out of the shotgun. He's got trips to the left, including the tight end Njoku. And he's going to look for him. It is intercepted. As Pratt, it was thrown right to him. He makes the INT. And it looks like Madden's going to pick the Bengals. I mean, there's still time for stuff to happen here. They're in 3, 4th and 1. The Bengals have to punt. I was sifting through it because I thought they might just get the first down. They don't. They don't get the first down. And like I said, I want to save some time, of course. So here's the punt. It's returnable with blockers. And the return gets to the 43. Good field position here. You never know. You never really know. There's a chance here that the Browns could pull this off, tie the game, and perhaps force an overtime. So Watson's in the gun. He's looking to get something open here, maybe not throw an interception this time. He throws to his right, and once again, it's intercepted. This time it's a Wougier who makes the pick. And 2 plays in a row where Deshaun Watson throws an interception. And I mean, if that's what Madden predicts, it's going to be a long year for this team. And I wouldn't be in for that. So let's go ahead and... It won't let me sim. We'll just back out of the game. It's all right. We already know who won. We don't need to keep track of scores this time. The Bengals have a victory here. It is a 1-score victory this time instead of a 2-score one. So we'll go ahead and move forward to our next game, which will be the Texans, who we just passed there, and the Baltimore Ravens. And, I mean, there's no question about it. The Ravens are by far the better team. And they are more stacked on both offense and defense. And I just don't see a way, even with C.J. Stroud and the hopes around this guy, how the Texans can pull this off. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Baltimore Ravens. It looks like the League of Ordinary Gentlemen agrees with me. So we'll go ahead and see if Men agrees with us. And, Men Sims can be very weird. If you guys didn't watch last week's stream, you'll see quite a few games that seemed kind of whack. Like the Packers absolutely destroying the Buffalo Bills. It's probably my favorite, but we'll go ahead and sim through this one. Justin Tucker gets on the board first, but the Texans strike back with the touchdown, and now they're up 14-3. The Ravens get back into the game, but they're still trailing, and now they're down 2 scores, and now they're down 3 scores. So, Men, I told you, Men can pick some weird stuff. And Men's upset of the week so far, I don't know if there's any bigger potential upsets here. Men thinks the Houston Texans will upset the Baltimore Ravens. Normally, I'm the kind of guy who would say, I'm not too surprised. There's a lot of talent on this team that is just kind of hidden. People don't see it. But I don't see that one happening. I just don't. I don't see the Houston Texans beating the Baltimore Ravens. That's just not a thing. So, Men, you can disagree with us all you want. We'll go ahead and move on to our next game, which is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. This game could really go either way. If I could find the Panthers. So it's a divisional game. It's our second divisional game of the stream. See, you can see the overalls are pretty even, and I think they're pretty evenly matched in real life. The Panthers have a lot of young talent on offense, but the Falcons, they also, I don't think this will be a great year for either team. I think Bryce Young's going to have some learning curves to go through in the NFL. That's the truth. And I think he's going to get a little, maybe a little shell-shocked week 1. And I think the Falcons will pull off this one. Now, maybe later in the season when they meet again in Carolina and Bryce Young's had a few games under his belt, I might make a different pick, but for this game, I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see, what has League of Ordinary Gentlemen said? This one a little closer, 4-2 final vote. But the League of Ordinary Gentlemen, once again, agrees with me. They pick the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see if Madden agrees with us. Of course, Madden made a huge disagreement last time, but this one could truly go either way. So let's go ahead. It's going to be a 1 o'clock game. And we can have an open roof for this one. So let's see what happens here in their 4th Men versus Men game, week 1. So let's go ahead, fast forward to the end of this game. Or we could cut it short if we want to jump in. But right now, Men has the Carolina Panthers absolutely torching the Atlanta Falcons. And this is great if you're a Panthers fan. This is absolutely great if you're a Panthers fan. 27-8 to start the year, according to Madden. And if that's what comes to fruition in real life, of course this is why we're doing this, because you never know what could happen in real life either. But if this is what comes to fruition in real life, 27-8 to start the year, that's a sign that it could be a really good season for the Panthers. And a really good season for Bryce Young. But I don't see it being a really good season for any team in the NFC South. Personally, I think the New Orleans Saints are still the best team there. But, I wouldn't be surprised no matter who comes out, unless it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't see them doing much, but any of the other 3 teams could come out on top. And Men thinks very highly of the Carolina Panthers. You saw what happened last week. So, well, they also thought pretty highly of the Falcons for a little bit there. So we'll go ahead and move forward to our next game. That will be the 49ers and the Steelers. So the 49ers are the visiting team here. But this is another interesting one. Of course, 49ers are definitely favored to win this game, but I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans out there who are excited about this season, who are excited about being the underdogs and waiting to prove themselves to the world and to everyone else. But I don't think the Steelers are going to win this game against the Super Bowl contending San Francisco 49ers team. It's just a bit too much. Christian McCaffrey and all of them. Come on, let's go ahead and just give this one to the 49ers. Let's see what League of Ordinary Gentlemen had to say about this one. After I fix that. Okay, so 5-2 in favor of the 49ers. Why is it coming bold? It should not be. But anyways, so with, once again, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen agreeing with me, making a pick. We've only had one disagreement so far. Madden and I have had a couple. 3 now, actually. Go ahead, randomize the weather, and let's see what happens here in this Week 1 contest. So we'll do the same thing. Steelers have an early lead. The 49ers tie it. 49ers take the lead right back, and they score another field goal. The Steelers aren't out of it yet. They aren't out of it. Now they are out of it. You can see the 49ers are going to walk away with a 3-score victory in Pittsburgh, 34-17. And if that's what happens Week 1 to the Steelers, it could be a sign that they get exposed. And I'd be quite happy to see it as a Browns fan. I mean, I made my pick very objectively, I must say. But I mean, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen and Madden agree with me, so you can't throw shade at me for picking the 49ers that one. Even though I really hate the Steelers. I mean, I picked the Ravens and I hate them too. So I'm willing to make picks that I have to make for the rival teams that the teams I don't root for. Well, certainly don't root for, avidly root against. But our next game here, Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Commanders. I don't know why I just scrolled up instead of down. I forget that the alphabetical order here is in team name and not in city name. But anyways, for this one, I think there's a clear gap here in talent between the two teams. A lot of people are predicting the Cardinals to barely win any games this year. In fact, if they win, some people might even be throwing out the 0-17 towel. I don't know if they'll go 0-17. But as far as this game goes, I don't think they're winning it. The Commanders are the better team. They're not the greatest team. They might even finish in last in the NFC East. That's how stacked that division is. But the Washington Commanders, against a team that's at the bottom of a different division, will definitely steamroll them. At least that's the way I see it here. League of Ordinary Gentlemen agrees with me. The 8 people that voted unanimously in favor of the Commanders. So now it's just left to see what Madden thinks. So we'll sim forward once again. Haven't had to jump in too much so far today. This is a little bit more experimental than I would want it to be. So, not a whole lot of jumping in right now. But you can see it has the Cardinals torching the Commanders. So the exact opposite what I said would happen. Commanders are back in it, though. Let's go ahead and jump in here. But, I mean, the Cardinals do have a second and goal here. We'll jump in a little bit because we haven't jumped in too much here today so far. So let's go ahead and jump in this one. The Cardinals have a second and goal, looking to put this game on ice. Or so they think. I just happened to jump in right as the 2-minute warning hit, so. Heavy look here for the Cardinals. Hand off up the middle. It goes nowhere. Commanders use their first timeout. They have a third and goal. I mean, even if they don't convert here, it's a pretty easy field goal. The Commanders would have to pull off a miracle, according to Madden, to come back and win this one. Unless the Cardinals do something stupid here. It looks like they're lining up to throw this football. And they will indeed throw the football. He gets away from a sack. And now he's going to run for it. Now he's going to throw it out of bounds. Interesting. I'm not sure what that was. Incomplete pass in that situation. I thought he was just going to take off, try to get to the end zone. If he couldn't make it, slide down, let the clock run, make the Commanders burn another timeout. But now they'll have to attempt a 21-yard field goal. And it's a very easy one. It's good. So Adam, I know, I mean, I kind of got on the stream a little earlier than I thought I would today. But basically what this is every real-life Week 1 NFL game this year. Well, I mean, I'm simulating them. I'm picking the games. League of Ordinary Gentlemen's picking the games. And then I'm having men simulate what it thinks will happen. And then, so basically it's just like a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em for every game. And I'll keep track of the wins throughout the year, so at the end of Week 1, I'll tally up our man versus man totals. I'll update them every week. Like next week, I'll say this is what happened in Week 1. I got X amount of wins. Man got Y amount of wins. League of Ordinary Gentlemen got Z amount of wins. So that's how this will work. I mean, of course, Week 1, I didn't make any of those announcements because there have been no real games played so far. But anyways, this is a bit of a shocker here as Ben thinks the Cardinals will pull off. No, you pick who you think will win in real life. League of Ordinary Gentlemen has its separate pick. Not who you think will win in Madden. I know there was some confusion about that earlier. This is who you think will win in real life. A little bit less unpredictable. Hush, I did not say that. Thank you very much. I mean, I'd already be buying Madden for myself. I'd be buying... I can't buy Madden 24, Madden 25. And then, like, who do I pick from League of Ordinary Gentlemen to ship Madden and buy and give the gift of Madden to for some reason? If I were even to do that, like would it be random? Would I do like a random number generator like I did before? Just have it pick one number? Anyways, 4th and 5, last chance for the Commanders, and it's incomplete. So let's go ahead and just sim the rest of this game. Actually, no, we don't have to. Men is picking the Cardinals, and it's simple as that. Unbelievable. I just think the Commanders are a much better team, and I know the League of Ordinary Gentlemen thinks so too. With the very now since then the tally's gone up to 9 total people voting. As I see some people may have made some additional picks while I've been doing this stream. I mean, I didn't officially close the polls for every single game when I start. Like, I'm just kind of going down the list here and seeing what's happening. So, next game is the Buccaneers at the Vikings, and this is another interesting game. I think the Buccaneers are not a good team this year. They're going to struggle a lot without Tom Brady. I don't see the Vikings being all that good either. I think they'll be... I mean, the NFC North is quite interesting. Like, I think there's four... I mean, there's all 4 teams in the NFC North. Any of those 4 teams can win it, theoretically, with the way the talent of each team lines up. I'm not making my pick for a division this year, like divisional picks right now. I think I made it. I mean, my picks to win the division would be completely separate from this. So, um, but the reason I want to make those picks is because like I know it might make some of my picks a little bit more biased than they already are. With that being said, the overall gap is surprisingly not that big between these two teams. With all due respect to Baker Mayfield, the Minnesota Vikings just have a better roster, and they have Justin Jefferson. That dude's gonna make plays, and he has a quarterback that might throw him the ball sometimes. The only thing I'm concerned about with the Vikings is their atrocious defense, but I don't think it'll affect them in this game. I think the Vikings pull out on top for this one. The Buccaneers are going to have a really long season and probably a really long next few years. So, buckle up, Buccaneers fans. It looks like the League of Ordinary Gentlemen agrees with me as well. Once again, in a unanimous vote, 10 people voted, all 10 voted in favor of the Vikings. Oh, well, someone just now actually voted for the Cardinals. One person. I want to see who it is. Okay. Okay, I see who it is. I see who voted for the Cardinals. I don't know how to pronounce that. Bjarn to be Wilder? Is that how it's pronounced? Bjarn to be Wilder. Wilder. Why did I say Wilder? I don't know how to pronounce that. He is the Cardinals user in League of Ordinary Gentlemen, so he picked his team. Good for him. Good for him. Especially with everybody else not picking the Cardinals. I mean, he agrees with Madden. I mean, the poll was already closed, but I mean, I just figured it'd make an honorable mention there. Did he vote on this one? Curious, because this one's 11-0. That one's 10-2. And of course, well, one of the votes is for each side is for the poll itself to be activated. So, yeah, he did vote on this one. And of course, he picked the Vikings because this one was actually unanimous before someone picks the Buccaneers. But anyways, without further ado, let's jump into this game. US Bank Stadium, the site of what will be this Week 1 matchup. So far, defenses are holding. I mean, the Buccaneers still have a decent defense. I think that's what Madden's trying to show, but I'm surprised by this low-scoring affair here. Vikings have a shot here, actually, with 2:50 to play. They're down by 8. The Vikings were the first team knocked out in that simulation tournament, and that's only because they were the unfortunate team to go up against the number 1 seed Eagles. That was a random number generator seed, by the way, but it just happened to be a good number 1 seed. They ran into round 1, so they were knocked out. First thing first. Anyways, that pass complete to the left side for Jefferson. They don't need to hurry, but like, with the uncertainty of a 2-point conversion play, I would certainly hurry, especially if it can only tie the game, because then your defense can get off the field, get the ball back. Not that I believe in this Vikings defense, but it is also the Buccaneers offense without Tom Brady. 2nd and 4, just shy of midfield here for Cousins and company. Throws to the right, complete. Just shy of the 40 for a first down. And that's Addison out of the backfield. Of course, the Vikings cut Dalvin Cook. For what reasons, I honestly don't know. If somebody knows the reason for sure on why Dalvin Cook got cut, enlighten me. But anyways, the Vikings have a first down and another one as he completes the pass to Hawkinson. And now the Vikings are in the red zone. They do lose their left tackle, though. And that will cost them a timeout inside of 2 minutes, which is probably not what they wanted, even though their time's not really a factor here. I think they prefer to just keep the clock running, but And when the player's injured, you can't really keep the clock running. Nevertheless, they have a first down. They have a shot at getting into the end zone twice here. That pass caught. Right side. KJ Osborne. 2nd and 3 at the 12. So we're coming up now on a minute to play here, and this is going to be, if the Vikings can get in here, it'll be one of the biggest plays so far of the stream for the 2-point try. That pass complete across the middle. It looks like the Vikings are going all in here on this possession. They cannot afford to not tie the game up here. They have a 1st and goal at the 7. So let's see what happens here. Can the Vikings get into the end zone twice here? Because they need to, as we're coming up on 40 seconds. Cousins to his left. Fires to the corner and out of bounds. Second and goal now at the 7 again. .38 seconds to play. Cousins looks, steps back, fires, caught at the 1. And now you may as well use those timeouts. Not sure what they're doing here. It shows them huddling, but Madden will come out and then say, oh, they're not huddling, and there it is, they're not huddling. 14-13, Cousins drops back, looks. Can't find anyone. He just needs to take off here. He's taking all day. He is taking all day, and that's out of the back of the end zone. 4 seconds left. 4 seconds to go. From the 1-yard line, Kirk Cousins and company here. They have to get into the end zone twice now. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. He did have a pocket to run on the left side, and even if he doesn't make it, they still had those 2 timeouts, but now it's 4th and goal. They absolutely have to get in on this play. Cousins looks, fires, intercepted. The Buccaneers win. The Buccaneers hold on here in this simulation game for men. And once again, men and I are not getting along very well this week to start. That's why we call it men versus men. Because we are on different sides here, and Madden is picking a lot of crazy upsets to start the week. Very creative of you, Madden. Just pick nothing but upsets. Why not? So let's go to the next game. Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. Another kind of interesting division where there's not like really a Super Bowl contending team, but the Jaguars are probably the class of that division now after last year. And the Indianapolis Colts, who were once the class of that division with Peyton Manning and then briefly Andrew Luck, have kind of since fallen out of the picture. Of course, picking this game, it's easy for me. The Jaguars, they're the young team. I mean, they're both young. The Jaguars are a young team, but they're also now experienced. The Colts are just young, and they're even younger, and they need more pieces than the Jaguars need. Jacksonville takes this one, in my opinion. Let's see what League of Ordinary Gentlemen says after I jot that down in this spreadsheet. Once again, unanimous 10-0 vote here in favor of the Jaguars. So not really too many interesting games here so far, of course, where like the teams are very evenly matched. I mean, some people pick the Steelers to beat the 49ers. I don't see that happening, but like it's possible. Of course, the Panthers and Falcons, that was the other like toss-up game. League of Ordinary Gentlemen and I both picked the Falcons win that game, and men picked the Panthers, which wouldn't be a total surprise. But anyways, here we are, Jaguars and Colts. Let's sim it. 7 zip Jags, 14 zip Jags, and finally men might actually agree with us here for once. The Colts have made their way back, though. They've made their way back into this game, and now... Hold on, it's a little early to be jumping in this one. Let's go ahead and jump to a change of possession, see what happens here. And... They didn't get it? Okay. So the Colts are pretty much done here. It was... Men had the Colts almost coming back for that. It was 21 zip Jags, and it was 21-18. So, but yes, men for once finally agrees with us. And it has the Jacksonville Jaguars winning their Week 1 matchup against the Colts, and that's to no one's surprise. So let's go ahead and move on to our next game. The Titans taking on the Saints. As I said earlier, I think the Saints are the best team in the NFC South. The Tennessee Titans had the AFC South for a couple of years in their grasp after Andrew Luck retired. I don't see them being competitive anymore, even with DeAndre Hopkins. The Saints win this one, in my opinion. They're probably the Saints are probably the best team. I'm not saying they'll win the division, because like I said, there could be surprises with the Panthers or even the Falcons. That game we saw earlier. And let's see what League of Warrior Gentlemen says. It's not unanimous this time. A couple people did pick the Titans, but overall, League of Warrior Gentlemen has picked the New Orleans Saints. The two people that picked the Titans. Oh, hey, Cave, you picked the Titans. I see you there. I'm honestly, he's picking his upset of the week, but he couldn't get the rest of the league on board. And then Bo's knows he picked the Titans as well. Then, of course, everybody else who made the pick in favor of New Orleans. So let's go ahead and move forward with this game. This is is this a 1 o'clock or are we getting into the later games now? I think this is the last 1 o'clock. It is the last 1 o'clock. So after this game, I got to remember to change the time to 4:15, 4:25 or whatever it is. 4:15. So the later window for the next few games here, from the Raiders at the Broncos all the way up until the Packers and the Bears. Oh, I didn't skip the intro yet. So let's see who thinks will win this game, or who men thinks will win this game. Excuse my improper language there. So far, it has the Titans absolutely demolishing the Saints here. And this is not even close. Wow. Wow. This might be the biggest blowout yet of any simulation we've done. And once again, Manton disagrees. Now, honestly, I'm into statistics. I had a stats minor in my undergraduate career. If I'm looking at the probability of not just the Titans winning, but by this margin, it has to be astonishingly low. Like, you're talking 0.0000 something. You're talking quite a few zeros in front of that decimal place before you get some other number. It would be statistically significant we to reject the null hypothesis, of course, but I mean the sample size is 1, so we can't really reject the null hypothesis on a sample size of 1 for a simulation. But in this case, this would be just a massive outlier in any sort of any sort of Monte Carlo simulation, like where you just run the same thing a million times, because that would be what we do to like really compare the two teams' talent according to Madden. But this is the reason why we only do it once, because anything can happen in one game. So Madden has that absolute demolition job happening by the Titans to the Saints. I don't think the Saints will demolish the Titans either way. I think they'll win by 1 or 2 scores. But uh, I like the fact they even picked completely in the other direction. All right, this one's a little close, so you guys have a few seconds left to get in your final votes here for the Raiders at Broncos. Once I make your guys' pick, it is in. It cannot be changed. I mean, I guess it can be if I really wanted it to, especially since I released the polls late. I should have released them last night. I released them a few hours before the stream. So, Raiders, Broncos. This will be an interesting game. Two teams that are predicted to be really bad this year, but also two teams that have the potential to surprise a lot of people, in my opinion. I'm not saying they will. They're in the same division as Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes as well, so you got to keep that in mind. But both teams have some talent that just hasn't come to fruition since they've gone to their respective cities. The Raiders had a lot of internal problems the last couple of years too. I don't need to mention anything else other than that. And of course, Russell Wilson had a tough year last year. With Sean Payton coming to the helm in Denver, I think things will look a little better this year for Denver. I'm not saying they will surprise people for this particular game. If I had to pick who's going to be the bigger surprise this year and who will win this game, I think the Denver Broncos would be. And it's not a very easy pick for me to make. I just think they have just slightly more talent than the Raiders. And I think the fact that Russell Wilson's still on that team, even though he had a down year last year and everybody's counting him out, like he's still experienced, he's still Russell Wilson, he still can potentially figure it out down there. Not saying he will or won't. I mean, he could have another really bad season where he doesn't go very far. But I am taking the Denver Broncos. What is the League of Ordinary Gentlemen saying? And like I said, it was close. 9 people picked this game, but the Denver Broncos for the League of Ordinary Gentlemen has come out on top, and it looks like me and the league are agreeing a lot. The only time we didn't agree was when I decided to pick my favorite team, the Cleveland Browns. So, to no one's surprise there, that's the only time we've disagreed so far. And I wanted to pick the Raiders just to disagree, but like, I've been making my picks pretty independently from what the league is saying. So, now let's go ahead and see what Madden thinks. This is a game that could go either way. This is a late window game, although they are on the West Coast-ish. So technically it'd be 1 o'clock local. It's the later window. It would be 1 o'clock local. So we'll leave this one at a 1 o'clock start time because it is on their coast, and to them it is a 1 p.m. game. Although to us East Coast folks, it is a 4:15 game, so keep that in mind when you are trying to watch this game, if it's available in your area or if you have like NFL Sunday Ticket or something like that. Let's just go ahead and jump forward. So Broncos are on the board, the Raiders are on the board, 3-3. Lots of field goals here. It's a field goal fest. And another field goal. Hold on, we want to be a little careful here. What will happen? Another field goal! What do you know? So let's go ahead and jump in here. We're about to hit the 2-minute warning, so that's great. We did that again. But nothing but field goals in this game so far. The Raiders are faced with a 2nd and 16. I don't think Daniel Carlson could kick a 95-yard field goal. And this is a long way to go on second down, but they do get a huge chunk there. And it's a gain of 11, third down and 5. Clock stops as the play ended out of bounds for Mayer. Third and 5 at the 35. And trouble here. Garoppolo is sacked. And that hurts. They worked so hard to get that yardage back, and now they're back at 4th and 18. Sounds like typical Raiders football, if you ask me. One more stop here, and the Broncos have this one wrapped up. But for the most part, I mean, the Raiders still have 2 timeouts. But anyways, here's Garoppolo dropping way back, throwing, and broken up at the last second. Looked like a good throw, but he just couldn't find his receiver. And now the Broncos will take over here, 1st and 10. A field goal doesn't completely wrap it up. It makes it a lot harder. Especially considering the fact the Raiders will have no timeouts after this. Unless the Broncos just wrap it up right here and get a 1st down. That's a 6-yard gain there. There's that first timeout. They'll need 4 more yards to officially put this one in the books. Here on 2nd and 4, Wilson hands it to his left. Nothing there. Good job stopping that. They'll need to do it one more time to have a shot. It'll be a desperation shot, but you never know with Madden. The Broncos do have a 3rd and 4. That'll be no doubt lining up to kick another field goal if they don't get this here. They're probably not going to take any huge risk. But here they are in the shotgun, 3rd and 4. With no tight end to protect the running back. It doesn't matter, he finds his tight end for a 1st down. And Russell Wilson leads his team to victory without getting a touchdown. So the Broncos will walk away with the victory here. And a clean sweep on the board for the Broncos here in that matchup. Although there was a game that I thought it might be a little bit more back and forth. There's a couple, but that was one of them. So let's go ahead and jump to our next one here between the Miami Dolphins and the LA Chargers. So this is probably a good one here to pick. The Dolphins and the Chargers. I like the Chargers. They're my 2nd favorite team. I mean, I kind of feel a little sympathetic for them sometimes. But, I mean, they did move to LA and they did kind of they didn't really make much of an effort down to stay in San Diego. Maybe they did. I don't know. I mean, they had a vote out there and the fans didn't want to build a new stadium, probably because there was a lot of things that were costing the community tax dollars when really Spanos could have just built it himself. But for this game, both teams are talented, but I really just don't know about this Chargers secondary. I don't know about Tua, him and his injuries and his concussions. But the matter of the fact is, unless he suffers something like that week 1 or in practice, he'll be playing week 1. So I have to give it to Miami Dolphins here, and the Chargers wouldn't be a slouch up there to me. But I'm giving this one to the Miami Dolphins, and it looks like the League of Ordinary Gentlemen actually disagrees with me on this one, as 10 people picked, 6 people for the Chargers, 4 people for the Dolphins. It's pretty much down the middle, but slightly favoring the Chargers in that case. So let's see what Men has to say about matters here. So we'll go ahead and sim like we have been so far. Fast forward to the end of the game here. This one wouldn't surprise me either way. I'd only be surprised if it's a blowout in either direction, and right now it's looking pretty good. 17-all at halftime. 17, and you can see here we are, a very critical point in the game. The Dolphins are faced with a 2nd and 24, though, at their own 32-yard line. Folks, we got a good one here in Inglewood. Tua looks for his redemption here. Redemption tour for him after what happened last year. 2nd and 24, and that is not how he's going to achieve redemption, throwing it to his former teammate, Jalen Waddle. He needs to be a little bit better than that. They have to get all the way to the Chargers' 8-yard line here on this play. I mean, it wouldn't be over if they don't convert. They could take the field goal here. They set up a screen. It doesn't work. It's 4th down. That's probably for the best. They tried to screen. They couldn't convert. 4th and 24. If I'm the Dolphins, I'm kicking it here, honestly, and trusting my defense. But Madden says no. We are going for it. Even though they have all 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, Tua looks. That's going to not get anything done. There's the man, Asante Samuel Jr., that we talked about last week. He makes the tackle. The Chargers on top, 24-17. They get the ball back. 8 ticks behind a 2-minute warning. The Dolphins could still get this one back and drive down the field and tie the game, but they have to get a stop here first. And Austin Eckler with the first down. They can still get a stop. The Dolphins can. They still can get a stop, but it'd have to be here and now. There's Eckler breaking it again, and he almost got to the line to gain. Instead, 2nd and inches at the 45. You guys see, it's like right on the first down marker. I'm not sure why they didn't just give it to him. They will give it to him now. As Eckler runs left side, gets the first down. That'll effectively wrap it up now. Dolphins can get back with minimal time left on the clock. Talking less than 30 seconds now. Deep in their own territory, too. But they cannot stop that man right there. It might not even matter. Right now, there's a 29-second differential between the game clock and what the Chargers would need to get it down to, quote, seal the deal. It doesn't matter. Eckler, first down, and a lot more. And now he's hurt, but It's Madden Sims. Injuries don't carry over into next week here. That does cost them a timeout, but it won't matter. The Dolphins are out of timeouts. They could still just kneel it 3 times and end this game. So, Madden has the Chargers coming out on top. And I can see it happening, even though I picked the Dolphins. Either way, this game has the potential to be a really good Week 1 matchup. And quite frankly, just very deserving of the late window, even though it's mainly because they're out on the West Coast. Those two teams were playing in Miami. I feel like it'd be a late window game as well, just because how good those two teams are. It'd be a really good game. Anyways, next up we have the Rams and the Seahawks. Now, I could be like that Cardinals guy and pick my team in League of Warrior Gentlemen, the Rams. But I'm not going to do that because I'm a little smarter than that. Seattle wins this game. They win resoundingly at home in the Hawks' nest. I mean, they just have too much talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. There are 4 teams out there that have they're in the conversation for best wide receiver duo in the league. Bengals, Chargers, Seahawks, and Dolphins. And we just saw the Chargers and Dolphins play each other. So, Seahawks win this game. It's not even close to me. I mean, unless Matt Stafford can get his you-know-what together, I don't think that'll happen. He's getting up there in age. Before I click the button, let's just say League of Warrior Gentlemen agrees with me in unanimous fashion. Once again, 10 people voted. They all picked the Seahawks. Let's see what Men has to say about this one. I've been saying that every time. I know. I got to think of something better. But let's go ahead and move forward. Now you think it'd be a blowout, but you never know with Ben. You really never know with Ben. And as you can see, it's a close game here. A pretty close game here. Now it looks like the Seahawks have it under control, and they finish off with a 23-13 victory. It's not a blowout for them, according to Madden. It's a 2-score win. But nevertheless, Madden does agree with us on this one. So we're getting down to our last few games here. We're down to our last 4. The 2 primetime 4:15 windows here. The Eagles playing the Patriots and the Packers playing the Bears. Okay, so the Eagles playing the Patriots. There's a lot. I mean, there's always a lot of talk surrounding the Patriots, no matter who they have on their roster, especially because of what the legacy Tom Brady left behind. But this isn't the past. We can't live in the past. And if we're looking at modern talent, the Eagles just have way more of it. And they're probably the best team in the NFL, if you ask me. I mean, man thinks the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL with the 92 overall. But I think that overall is a little bogus, especially with what they lost this past offseason. The Eagles have a 91 overall, and quite frankly, they should be Madden's best team. And for this game, I'm picking the Eagles. They're gonna have a really good year this year. They're gonna want to get back to that Super Bowl, and they're gonna want to win it this time. Not saying they will. I mean, I did say the 49ers were a competitor too, and there's at least a couple others that could come out of the NFC, including within their own division. So this one is a 4:15 start. Or 4:25 in real life, but 4:15 for the sake of this game. And I forgot to jot down our picks. So I picked the Eagles. League of Ordinary Gentlemen picked the Eagles. 10 people picked. 8 people picked the Eagles. 2 sided with the Patriots here. Let me guess, Cave. No, Cave didn't pick the Eagles. Or didn't pick the, excuse me. Did pick the Patriots. He must have picked the Eagles. I'm wondering, or maybe he didn't even pick this game. No, he picked the game. He picked the Eagles. Anyways, all right, now let's jump in. Seven seven. Now it's 10-7. Now it's 17-7. The Eagles use all their timeouts, but now here we are. They're right back in it, and now they have the lead. Patriots have the lead, and now it's a lot back and forth. Let's jump in here. Quite frankly, I wish I jumped in earlier if I would have known that was happening. 1st and 20, by the way. Must have been a holding penalty. Mac Jones finds a wide open receiver, complete to the 20. Tackled at the 16. Hunter Henry. Both Eagles defenders went after the running back. And they just left Hunter Henry wide open. That's an absolute blunder from one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team. And now carry to the right side, a gain of 2. Now this would not be a surprising upset because the Patriots do have some talent. They still have Bill Belichick. Madden doesn't think they have Bill Belichick, of course, but we all know they do. With that, I mean, it's possible. It's not like some of the other picks Madden has made so far. A run up the middle. Stevenson gets the first down, or excuse me, Ty Montgomery gets the first down. 1st and goal at the 5. The Patriots are comfortable here. If field goal does tie the game, they're well within field goal range, but they would like to take the lead here. Probably bleed down as much clock as possible, too, while they're at it. If you're the Eagles, you might want to start using your timeouts here. Jones looks, has all day, fires, complete, and now you expect the Eagles to use a timeout here, but they don't. As it's 2nd and goal now at the 3. And the Eagles are just letting the Patriots blow this clock. 2nd and goal, Mac Jones looks, fires, touchdown, New England. Kendrick Bourne in the front corner. He got separation from the defender. He gives the Patriots the late lead here. And I wonder if the Eagles are going to regret not using a timeout on that play before to stop the clock, preserve as much time as possible. They have 1:07, all 3 timeouts. They're gonna have to get a touchdown unless this is no good. It is good. We've seen a couple no good extra points that didn't happen there. 33-29, Patriots on top. A minute 7 to go. The Eagles will get it back here. Here's the kick. A few yards deep, they're going to bring it out. Hope something good happens, and nothing good happened there. Should have just kneeled in the end zone, got the extra yard, and saved 4 seconds. Eagles will have to go 76 yards in 1:03 with all 3 timeouts. It's not impossible, especially for this team. But it's difficult. It is improbable. And Hurts throws, overthrow. Second and 10. Second and 10 for Philadelphia. Hurts throws across the middle. That's not really going to do much for them as they have to burn a timeout after a 5-yard gain. And now it's 3rd and 5, 56 seconds to go. Third and 5, and that's a short completion across the middle once again in the middle of the field. The Patriots will give them that all night long until they bleed the clock out on themselves. So they're forced to use their second timeout there. And by the way, they have to convert here on 4th and 1. And a running play, it's going to get the first down, but the clock's going to continue to roll here. I'm sure the Patriots, once again, are content with that, as they're not getting huge chunks right now. And we're coming up on under 30 seconds to play, and they're nowhere clear. They were nowhere close to where they need to be. Hurts is going to get, nope, he gets out of it and throws incomplete. So he's at least able to stop the clock by avoiding the sack there. It'll be 2nd and 10. Hurts. And now he does get sacked. Back at the 35. And now with 16 seconds left, they might even not have a shot at a Hail Mary here. Third and 17. They need a decent amount of yards here. Hurts rolls and throws it out of bounds. So now they need 17 yards and to get out of bounds as quickly as possible, just to attempt a Hail Mary. Because it's not making the end zone on this play, so let's see what happens. He does fire past the line of game, but it's broken up. And the Patriots are Madden's pick this week over the Eagles. Another upset special according to Madden. And yeah, I'm sure the Eagles will not be happy if this is the result of this game. A game which they probably should win. And Madden says, no, you're not. So 33-29. Is the final there. So now we move on to our last afternoon window-ish kind of game. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. As I mentioned earlier, the NFC North is a very interesting division this year. I think I mentioned that when the Vikings played, and I think I'm mentioning that here when these two teams are going up. This is a very old rivalry. The Packers, of course, lost Aaron Rodgers. They lost a couple of other guys, and now they're likely going to enter a rebuild unless Jordan Love turns into something we don't know of yet. With that being said, the Chicago Bears are kind of the flip side. They've been rebuilding for a little bit now. They have Justin Fields at the helm, and of course they've got a couple other guys to help them out. Defense is probably going to be better this year. It's not going to be perfect, but they did sign some pieces there. I'm going with the Bears. I think they'll be a better team this year. Men has an overall rating of the Bears at 76, but I think that's one of the more underrated teams in the NFL right now. If we're going based on men, or if we're going based on overall ratings, not what men. Sim thinks we haven't done that yet. League of Ordinary Gentlemen agrees with me. Once more, we've been in agreement a lot. We've only been in disagreement twice so far. So League of Ordinary Gentlemen has the Chicago Bears coming out on top. Let's go ahead without further ado. Maybe. Okay, now without further ado, let's move forward and get this game rolling. If I can ever come back to my screen here, and there they are. Sim to the end of the game. Let's see what happens. The Bears get a field goal. It's some back and forth trading of no scores until the Packers kick. See, the Bears got a couple touchdowns, and now they're pulling away here. Packers may just come back here. Nope. All hopes of that ended when the Bears tacked on another field goal. So this is not to anyone's surprise here. The Packers are definitely going to regress this year. And they didn't really have a good team last year either. So I could see that being a reasonable result. So let's go to our last two games. The Sunday night cap for week 1, the Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. Is that Sunday night? I think it is. Yeah, there's only one Monday night game. Traditionally, Monday Night Football used to be a split doubleheader week 1, but not anymore. This is a Sunday night game. So the Cowboys go on the road to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants. And that will be quite the turnaround, actually, for the crew working there in facilities. Because our last game is the Bills at the Jets, and they're the home team. They play in the same stadium as the Giants. The Giants are the home team here. So they're going to have not even 24 hours to turn around and paint the end zones green instead of blue. So just an interesting fun fact here. So who do I think will win this game? Excuse me, guys. I am really tired. I apologize if you guys hear me yawning. But the Cowboys have a lot of talent. The Giants have slightly less talent. I think this game could go either way, theoretically. I mean, any game could go either way. I think, I'm going to have the New York Giants pulling off the upset here. I'm going to pick the upset here. Just because, I really haven't made a lot of upset picks this week, and I think this is a reasonable one. The Giants do have a fairly good history against the Cowboys. They do have Saquon Barkley, so they can kind of try to control the game, not throw it to Stephon Gilmore or Trayvon Diggs. So I think the Giants have a potential to pull this game off, and I'm going to pick them for this one. But the League of Ordinary Gentlemen does not pick them. They pick the Dallas Cowboys. Although not very lopsided. 9 people picked, 6 people picked the Cowboys, 3 people picked the Giants. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this sim. Of course, this is a night game now, so we're going to go 8:15. Oh, we want 8-minute quarters. Duh. I knew I was forgetting something. Now, there we go. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants. Let's go ahead and sim forward. Giants get a couple scores. The Cowboys do strike back. A lot of defense in this game, but it's tied at 10. This doesn't surprise me right here. All right, so we have a situation here. The Giants 4th and inches, tied game at midfield. Will the Giants go for it or punt? That image shows Jamie Gillen coming out to punt, but you never know what Madden has in store. It might just be an animation. And yep, they're going for it. The Cowboys not stacking the line. The Giants do throw, and it's complete for a first down. A little bit of guts there, but I would have done the same thing. And quite frankly, I would have ran the ball because there was a pretty big hole in that left guard area. And now the Giants, they need one more first down to probably attempt a field goal here. And they're going to get it with Saquon Barkley right up the middle, just running right down the Cowboys' throats. So with the minute 17 left, 17-17. Giants have 1st and 10. Daniel Jones gives it to Barkley. And, man, Barkley almost broke that for a touchdown. But this is what I said could happen. The Giants could take control of this game with their running game. And Madden seemingly wants to agree with me for once over the rest of the league. The 2 times myself and the league have disagreed so far, Madden has favored the league in both instances so far. It looks like I'll get my first swing of the Madden gods here. Barring a catastrophe. A run to the right. Barkley is in between the hash marks. I think that was the important thing on that play. Make this a much easier field goal try for Graham Gano. As they now have a 2nd and 10 at the 18. And they're going to run the ball again here, I'm sure, and that they do. Barkley gets just past the 10. The Cowboys out of timeouts. So 3rd and 3, under 30 seconds to go now. The Giants could bleed this thing all the way down to its final seconds before kicking the game winner. Barkley doesn't have to get the first down, but he does. I mean, in real life, that's a good thing in case like something like a bad snap happens. They're going to call a timeout with 11 seconds. The Giants do anyways. So, will the Giants just kick it here is my real question, or did they want to run one more play? They're going to kick it right here. Graham Gano. Should be an easy chip shot for the win. And he's got the easy chip shot, so now the Giants just have to make sure they don't blunder into disaster here. Here in the final 9 seconds. So we'll see him kick off, see if anything bad happens here for the Giants. Is returnable for Dallas. Let's see what happens. And there's a big return, but there's a penalty. And it is stopped at the 35. So not like a massive, massive return. And it's coming back anyways. So now they'll have to go 84 yards. He said automatic first down. It's not automatic first down. It's just first down. And penalty was against the receiving team. Anyways, one last hurrah from Dallas here. Not likely to be able to do much here. He's probably just going to attempt a Hail Mary, but he doesn't even get a throw off. Sack to end the game. Prescott is. And the Giants hold on. So 20-17, the final score. So for the first time, Madden agrees with me, but not agreeing with the rest of the league. So now that brings us to our final game of Man vs. Men, Week 1. You guys have a few more seconds to make your pick here because I see it is really close for this final game between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. So let's see. We're going to scroll up. We're going to have the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. So like I said, those facilities workers will have to work like overtime to get the field ready for this game. After that game, not a particularly fun job, but if you love what you do, then go for it. Be a part of their facilities team. But easier said than done. You also have to have a lot of experience. Buffalo Bills, New York Jets. Of course, the New York Jets have Aaron Rodgers now. He's also getting up there in age. And they also acquired quite a few pieces this offseason to support their new quarterback, as well as bolster their defense a little. And that is a slight concern of mine looking at the Buffalo Bills still, especially after the whole DeMar Hamlin thing went down last year. The Buffalo Bills just didn't really have a secondary. And I can kind of see the Jets scoring a lot of points potentially, but I think the Buffalo Bills are still the class of the AFC East. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. Let's see. What does the League of Ordinary Gentlemen think? And the League of Ordinary Gentlemen has, wow, by one vote, 9 people picked. 9 people picked, and the vote is for the Buffalo Bills. But now let's see what man thinks here. Last game of the stream. So there you go, MetLife Stadium once more. And we'll go ahead and sim as we have been. So Bills take a 3-0 lead, and the Jets strike back. Jets strike back. Looks like the Jets are trying to pull away, but the Bills are hanging in. Then now here we go, a crucial 3rd and inches here for the Jets. Can the Bills get off the field and give themselves a chance to win this game? Final game of the stream. Here on 3rd and inches. They fake the jet, and they get the first down and plenty more. Is there's the boy we were talking about earlier, Dalvin Cook. That's probably one of the easiest first downs he'll have in his career, and now with a minute 43 left, the Jets can spell victory in this Madden simulation, and now they will have just that. The Bills are out of timeouts. The Jets just have to take 3 knees. And I'm forgetting I could just sim to the end of this game here, or I could just quit out of the game like I have before. So, upset here to end the stream for Ben. Not a surprising one, but one that I personally don't foresee happening. So, that's a wrap on Man vs. Man Week 1. All the games are picked between myself, Ben, and you guys in the League of Ordinary Gentlemen. I've personally, so I will track throughout the week. I'll see who won, who lost. Like, okay, you made that pick, you got a win. So basically, it's going to be like a point system. We're just adding up how many wins each person has gotten. Well, I'm a person, Ben's a computer software, and League of Ordinary Gentlemen's a community, of course. So I don't know why I just said person. But with that being said, happy football season. Kickoff tonight, of course. Generally, I would like to do these streams on Wednesday nights. I was kind of busy last night and didn't do it. So we'll have to. So I've tried to make a routine of doing this on Wednesday nights, and if I can't do it Wednesdays, it'll have to be Thursday before the Thursday night game. So like that's what I said, and today it just happened to come to fruition that it's the Thursday night. It's the Thursday night game right before it, so some of the games are already predetermined or pre-picked for us on here. Now that I realize, maybe in the future I'll use that feature that Madden has. But anyways, best of luck with your Week 1 picks. Best of luck with your Week 1 fantasy teams. Best of luck to League of Ordinary Gentlemen folks with our league starting here soon. As soon as the companion app comes out, we'll have that going. And honestly, let's just enjoy the ride for this football season. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. But with that being said, this is your boy J-Bob signing off, saying see you next time from Man vs. Man. Have a good night, everyone, and enjoy the game.